Welcome to the Library Superpowers Workshop. This is our last one, and the theme of today is archive.org and you. So I'll be showing a lot of the different features that archive.org has available, talking about its different content, and then showing you how you can do some specialized searching within it, as well as downloading those sources or other things for later access. So to begin with, the archive.org, or the Internet Archive, is a nonprofit library of millions of free books, movies, software, music, websites, and more. They were founded with the mission to provide universal access to all knowledge. So a lot of the materials we will see today, you can access directly so long as you have an internet connection. And they do have the option to register with them for an account, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But right here we are on the archive.org homepage. So right away at the top on the bar here, we can see the different options. So we can look at their web sources, the books, video, audio, software, or images. We can go through or browse those. They have, according to their About section, 475 billion web pages archived through the Wayback Machine. So through this tool, you can look at how a certain website has looked over time. So for example, for the juniata.edu webpage, they have the earliest capture as January 3rd, 1997. So you can see it there, and it's all its early internet glory, to the more recently, the captures through this year. And you can kind of browse through those if you want, looking at different iterations of those web pages. A lot of the functionality is still existing within them, so you can explore those directly, look at the content. Videos don't always hold up so well, but like the other content with the pages, you can usually look at those and see what they have to offer. So here we are. I clicked on the new and prospective students. So this is just what it's loading. So here we are, right where now from where I'm recording, and we could continue to go through that. So that's just showing one of the older college slogan of Think, Evolve, Act. So beyond the Wayback Machine, there are 28 million books and texts. So a lot of these are books published prior to 1926. So those are available for free download. That's the materials in the public domain. There are thousands of audiobooks, so those collections can be explored through things like LibriVox here, which are a lot of those public domain books that are recorded by volunteers. And there's also a resource called the Magazine Rack, which features print runs of thousands of magazines on a variety of topics. For researchers here, I do direct them towards the science fiction periodicals because they do have a long run of the Galaxy magazine. And of course, you can look at Juniata College archive material. So this is the place we are hosting the Juniata magazine, the Juniatian, and the precursors to the Juniatian. And we do have a few of our pamphlets and some other college publications like older student handbooks. So those are all, again, through here. Through our LibGuides page, we do have them organized kind of by the date and volume number, so that you might find it a little easier to go through that portal first if you want to use these. But again, they're all here and available. There are also 14 million audio recordings. A good chunk of those are live concerts, but the Grateful Dead have their own sub-collection here. And then 6 million videos. So 2 million TV news programs, and they do have a dedicated archive specifically for TV news surrounding the events of September 11, 2001. And then before people joined in the room, I was trying out a few different options within the console living room. So here they have set up emulators of a lot of the different game systems. So you see up here, PlayStation, Atari, and many of these you can play directly within your browser. Not all of them work, but many of them you can load directly. And the nicer ones do have the control transfer, so you know how to play them on a keyboard. So for searching within these, it will depend on what you want to look for. So again, you can browse directly by those different material types, or if you want to just start with the Wayback Machine, that one works best by having a URL. And then again, you can click through and explore the different iterations. So if we wanted to, here is May 28th, 1997 is going to load up on the screen. Now, not everything is in the Wayback Machine, and people can request to have their items removed. So if you're hoping for some like social media captures, it might not always have those. But when you're exploring like an institution or looking for how sites used to be built, this can be a useful feature. I know I've gone back a few times to look at the old library page just to see how the archives and special collections were described at those different points. So for your basic search, you can kind of put in whatever you want. Down below there, it does give you options to filter differently. So you can just search the metadata. You can search textually. It'll even go into news captions for some of the TV content, or you can search for the websites again directly through that search bar. So I'm just going to leave it as Juniata College on the metadata, and we'll see what it crops up with. Okay, and we're seeing a lot of the things we saw briefly on the Juniata College archives web page. So you can filter by your types, you can look by year, or you can look directly at a volume. So we'll go with November 1988 for the Juniata College Bulletin. So when you're looking at the individual level item, if it is something you need an account for, there would be a banner across the top saying that you would need to register for an account. And at that point, if you do that, it's free. You'd be able to borrow that item for either an hour at a time, or I think they have some of them alternate between being available for a week or 14 days that you'd be able to borrow it. So you can page through directly as if you were holding it, or you could search within that issue for whatever keywords you might like to. So we'll just go ahead, and as President Neff is listed on this page, I'm going to just type his name in, and we'll see where the results pop up on the page. So it shows them through the banner over on this side, as well as down below in the pages themselves. We can see a blue line for whichever page shows up. And when you hover over those, it gives you the rough sentence. And when you click those, it will take you to that page. And most of the time, it will have them highlighted within that issue. Now, unfortunately, that doesn't always work. So when we scroll down below the item, it gives us a lot more details about it, and it also shows us different file formats available for download or browsing. So if you're ever in one of these and your search function fails, you do have the option to look at the full text. And so when you bring that up, it's going to show when you do that keyword search, what it's actually looking for. So through here, again, you can, through whatever browser you're using, either Control F or Command F, brings up a little search bar here. We see it at the bottom of my window. And you can type your term in there, and it will show you there's 19 matches and let you jump through them. So you could know roughly where it appears, and you could go back to the issue and search for it that way. Or if you find the quote you like, directly through here, you can kind of cut and paste the text you need, making sure, of course, that you have what you need for a citation, which is usually listed within these sections. So, and again, we see all those different options. Typically, when I'm putting things into Internet Archive, I'm doing that as PDF. So that's the only thing I'm creating. Everything else is generated through archive.org. So if you do want an account, we see here I'm logged in under the Juniata College one, but you could do it separately. And it allows you access to all the things through here. And you can also then, if you wish, submit things to be archived in the Wayback Machine, as well as allowing you to just upload documents. So for example, if you have concert posters, like a zine you made in high school or college and wanted to share it, you could do it this way. They don't really, the upload is not reviewed. So it is up to the uploader to make sure the copyright is consistent or owned. So again, like all the things I've uploaded are either publications by the college or in the public domain. But to just give you an example of the books, I'm just going to go ahead and hit texts and see what comes up quickly. So we see they are accessible collections. So books for people with print disabilities. That's where a lot of the LibriVox things come in of the audiobooks. So I'm just going to look at the Bookscanomia library of books and try and get us to an actual book. Okay, so here's French Library, the complete collection. So the viewer is a little bit different. We see there are different volumes we can select through within this one item. And again, we can see all of those here directly. And there are a lot of volumes in this set. We could download those. It would probably take a little bit of time, but it would be possible. And the archive.org is also integrated with Open Library and Project Gutenberg. So if you're familiar with those, you will see similar titles within them. But it's a pretty great resource. Lots and lots of content, great for both exploring for research. I know for our historic recipes event, some of the recipes we found were through here, but it can also be a nice place to go to relax a little, enjoy some music, or play some video games. So thank you for joining in. I'm going to start the recording and we'll go to questions then if there are any.